So how do we actually create the content itself so that it creates demand? I'm going to now show you the workflow of how we do this. During the live training, I wasn't able to share my screen because of a Facebook hiccup. And moving forward, I'm definitely doing all my trainings back on Zoom again. But anyway, it's a learning experience. So that's why I wanted to make sure to record this part of the training, because I think it's important for you to see it and kind of like watch it over the shoulder and see it yourself to make more sense out of it. And this is an example from one of my one-on-one clients. I kind of made some changes, so I'm not giving away all of her content, but I wanted you also to see how this process goes as well. And that way you can see the example and the workflow itself. I start with a few questions so that your content is aligned with what you have to offer, and content is aligned with what your niche is about and the solutions you provide to your audience. Okay. So the obvious first question is going to be, what is your offer about? This is an example from one of my one-on-one clients, and she helps entrepreneurial women increase productivity in their business by gaining confidence through self-care. Okay. Now, next question we need to think about, and this is an important point, unless you only have this one technique, one strategy that you help them with, or one product or one single service. How do you help them accomplish this? What are the ways and processes you teach? And in this context, if you're a coach, I'm talking about different strategies you provide, different maybe modules that goes into your paid content, different strategies you give. In her case, she told me journaling, manifestation, goal setting, self-care, feminine care, energy reading, time management, and some more. Okay. Once we laid these out, we pick one. So just pick one. And in her case, I think she picked self-care. Yes, self-care. Next question, after we pick this, well, up until here, you already may have an idea anyway. But after here, you're going to start answering to the question of what are the mistakes your offer fixes about this? Focus on one mistake you want to talk about, and it's going to make more sense to you as we go down the rabbit hole. She said, as speaking of the self-care, right? What is a mistake that your ideal client is making around self-care? Not about journaling, not about manifestation. In this example, is self-care. So she said they skip self-care thinking they need to keep busy with the business or kids. That's a good point. Now here, it already kind of captivates if it's the right audience, right? As a person who, myself, I'm not very good at self-care. I always need improvement on that. And as a person who has that belief of for years of working like crazy hours that I got to be busy all the time. So for a person like me, it is captivating. I'm like, oh crap, that's what I do. Like, right. So then we go down the rabbit hole of the questions or of answering the questions. What happens when they keep making this mistake? And again, we always relate to what we talked about earlier. Meaning, what happens when they keep skipping self-care, thinking that they need to keep busy? So she said you get burned out just doing busy work that does not bring results, just to occupy yourself, to ignore feeling guilty for not being productive. Whoa. Okay. Well, that kind of hits home, right? That kind of hits your heart a little bit if you struggle with this, obviously. And then she says, you give yourself an excuse when you plot down the couch that you did a lot. In reality, you know you did a lot, but didn't accomplish much. So now you think you should do more and worry about not getting enough done. And what should you be doing more? You don't even get rested. You don't even think about the time you waste on selfless care, doing nothing, just worrying, planning, not practicing. Wow. Okay. This already is the content itself. It's already so powerful, right? All we got to do is kind of tweak around and structure it a bit better, because what she's saying is right. So now she's talking about how they think they're resting sitting in front of the couch, but in reality they're still worrying, but it's not really, and that's not really productive rest, right? Okay. All right, so the next thing we're answering is, what do they need to do instead of thinking that they need to keep busy, or instead of just thinking that sitting on the couch after a busy day is getting rest, what can they do instead? So she says, you need planned self-care activities that will take you away and help you tune everything out. After this tune out, reset, set new intentions, outline your actions, and set boundaries. Okay, so like now when she goes deep down into it, who would have thought, right? Like who would have thought that much goes into self-care? And next thing we're answering is, why do they need your offer? So think about it. We're talking about self-care. Why should they need anybody's coaching? Like, that's how I feel. Self-care, it sounds so simple. Why should I even need coaching for that? Like, why should I even spend extra money on that? And this is where she comes in and says, you need a systematic way of creating a routine to celebrate yourself. Okay, so, but why can I not do it myself, right? As a client, I'm gonna have that objection of, why can I not do it myself? So here's that question. Why are they not doing it? Why are they making this mistake? What's holding them back? So why can I not do it myself? Obviously, I'm not doing it right. And what is holding me back, right? And this is where it's going to make it or break it. And here she says, you probably think, why should anyone need help with self-care? See, she's already given them their own objection, and now she's going to answer to this objection. You'll set up a couple of spa appointments, get a massage, facial, etc. But you'll go to that spa appointment with some any day clothes. In between running errands, you'll be on your phone texting or checking on Facebook, paying bills, rushing home to cook and clean. You may feel good for 10-20 minutes, but you didn't get the deep mental relaxation and energy shift. Back to square one when you leave the spa. You won't keep up with the frequency you once wanted to commit to. That's why you need guided action to plan it effectively, set intentions, schedule it, set up, align your goals. Wow, okay. Without an objective perspective, you will only rationalize what you're doing is right. You can't expect different results by taking the same action. This is very powerful, because she's basically saying, hey, what you're doing, you kind of lying to yourself. Even if you go to that spa, or even if you do this and that and think that it's self-care, the way you're doing it is not right, because you're kind of rationalizing it yourself, and you need someone else's approach. That's very powerful. So now wow, that's very, very powerful, honestly. So now what you can do is you can copy and paste all of this all together in another document, or under this document if you want. And then you can go over, kind of fine tune and edit some things to make it a more structured and easier read. This is the content that is almost like that heart to heart content. This is the content that's going to create that demand, show the people that you actually do need this and you're holding yourself back, right? Okay, now that we come up with our idea and actually have the content itself, we have to outline this right. And how are we going to do this? And let me show you the ADD content outline. First is the hook. So now that we know what we're talking about in our content, we can create the hook, right? And how are we going to create this hook? Like I always say, you need a system. So in order to come up with a hook, what I do is I have a document where I have my content hook formulas. These are the hooks that actually bring the demand and attract clients. These are proven hook formulas for that, right? You can use these as subject lines, you can use these as hook headlines, whatever you, wherever you want, but you can start with these for your content. So like these are from different examples, obviously, but let's go over and think about our hook that we're going to make for this piece of content that we talked about from my one-on-one clients example. So in the first line, how to result in time without something they don't like doing. Okay. As the example, it is how to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks without a strict diet. We can think about the piece of content here and try to apply that here. Now, some of them may be more relevant than the others. So let's look at other examples first and find one that fits us the best for this piece of content we're talking about. The next hook idea is how to an aspirational dream, the paradise. What is the paradise goal, right? How to quit your job and travel around the world. Okay. Next one, why a result they're scared of. So why do you keep cheating even when you have a meal plan? She gives her clients meal plans, and the issue is that they're scared that they'll even cheat even when they have a meal plan already, right? So this is what that's talking about. Oh, like this, we can apply it to our piece of content here saying, why are you still tired even after a whole day of spa relaxation? Right? Because obviously they paid money, they went to spa, they know they need to relax, they know they need to rest, but they still don't feel rested. And she can talk about this. Okay, next example, the number of lessons target audience learn about something they may be working on too late. Okay, so the example is the 3 lessons new moms learn about losing belly fat too late. So what is something that they're working on as far as new moms losing belly fat for their health goals, right? This is, let's say you're a wellness coach, health coach, weight loss coach. So this is, okay, something they may be working on is losing belly fat. So 3 lessons that moms, target audience, new moms learn about losing belly fat too late. Right, okay, great. Oh, let's talk about this and this piece of content. Maybe we can say 3 lessons entrepreneurial women learn too late about self-care. In our content, we already know what we're going to say, how we're going to relate that. Another hook formula we can talk about is how to, what is their desired outcome with no resources? How to write conversion copy with no writing training. Like for my clients, they're all scared of copywriting, and I explained to them, you don't have to have actual training to write conversion copy. So this could be one of my hooks, and we can go on and on. So anyway, once we create this hook, going back to our ADD content outline, we created our hook, and then we're going to talk about our headline. With the headline, you're going to actually explain what you will talk about and why you want to talk about in this piece of content. Once you do this, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and you can maybe use some social proof as well. Now, obviously, if you are creating content like a Instagram post, you may not always want to introduce yourself. But if you're creating especially long form video content, introduce yourself after you tell them what you're going to talk about. One of the mistakes I see some entrepreneurs make is they get on the long form video, either it's live or recorded, and they first introduce yourself and then they talk about what they're going to talk about. This kind of takes away from the attraction, because those who don't know you yet may not want to just stop and listen to what you're talking about. But with a hook, with actually telling them what you're talking about, you can actually stop the scroll and make them want to listen to more. And that's why this entire ADD content strategy is outlined in a way where it engages and it creates this journey for your leads. Next is the scale strategy. I'm not going to go over this on this training today. If you want to know more about it, send me a DM and I'll quickly walk you through. After you introduce yourself, subheadline, meaning, and of course, again, this is if you are doing an introduction. If it's a type of piece of content that you don't need an introduction, then obviously you don't have to repeat yourself. But this is to rephrase what you're talking about and why you want to talk about this, to kind of keep them watching onto actually listening or reading into the body of what you're going to say. And which brings me to the body. And in the body, you basically give all the content you want to deliver. And in the body, one of my favorite strategies is my 1, 2, 3 strategy. You can just say bullets if you want. You can say emojis if you want. But breaking down the piece of content you're creating into logical segments, maybe 3 segments here, so that this solidifies the comprehension of what you told them in a systematic way. Sometimes if you don't do this, if you don't tell them, hey, I'm going to tell you 3 strategies. First strategy is attention. Second strategy is problem solving. Third strategy is critical thinking. I just made it up, by the way, anyway. But if I didn't tell this, and if I just went and talked about these things, not everybody will be able to actually systematically remember what we talked about. So this is to give that formula of what you talked about for them, for it to resonate more with your audience. It makes it an easier read or easier comprehension. And again, the scale strategy, which we'll not talk about in this training, I can tell you about that on another video. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make another video for that. And summarize meaning, hey guys, here's what we talked about. We talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about what was our hook? We talked about the 3 lessons entrepreneurial women learn too late about self-care. Okay, let's say. And then we talked about tip number 1, tip number 2, tip number 3. Briefly explain this. And then give your call to action. I have a few call to action strategies. I'm going to give you 2 of those. One of them is almost like a hack. This is to engage those who are not so warm to put themselves out there, or those who don't really want to ask for help just yet, but to kind of give them a little bit of boost, is to ask your audience about a tip, right? Whatever you're talking about, ask them, what is your tip? What is that one tip you do about this, or you want to tell us about this? It's gonna basically energize those who are looking for these type of solutions, but kind of holding back to really ask for help just yet, because those are the ones that are actually, they know a lot of these strategies. They read about it, they search for it, and they know about these tips. It makes sense to them, but they sometimes can't apply it to themselves. And that's why it's kind of an energizing tip to get their opinion. And people like, human nature, we like giving tips, we like sharing our opinion and helping other people, so that may energize those. My other call to action strategy is a 2-step call to action strategy. First one is giving them a call to action about themselves, like to kind of like a piece of homework in a way for them to do. And the second call to action is about me, like about, if it is to send them to my lead magnet, is if it is for them to send me a comment or DM, whatever it is, but basically something to engage with me. so that it's not just one call to action saying them, hey, do this for me, right? It's more like, okay, here's your homework and this is going to help you, which gives them a quick win. You see how these strategies can help you get these results and fast track them? This is Toya's results. The first line is showing you her traffic, her weekly traffic from the week before we started working together. The second line is showing you her traffic, weekly traffic again, and conversion 2 months after we started working together. And the first one, 375 people are coming to this page a week. And the second one, 379 people are coming to the page a week. So we didn't really make a difference when it comes to how many people, how many leads we were sending to this page, right? But the main difference is the week before we started working together, she only sold 9 offers. So only 9 of the 375 people that come to the page bought this offer. And her conversion rate was 2.4%. 2 months after we started working together, 112 of 379 people that come to this page bought this offer in 1 week. And that gave her a conversion rate of 29.6%. And we stayed with the same principles we have been talking about to get those results. Now, if you follow a process, it can really be that simple. She was able to get these results because we had a solid system that we know what converts, right? And here's the deal. As I said before, my mentorship program fills up whenever I launch my program and has been for almost 2 years. I'm not saying that to brag about myself, but I'm saying that because this is because of my own evergreen approach to marketing and because of the results that my clients have been getting. Like Nadia, she booked 15 clients in 1 week after we started working together. That was amazing. Think about that. I want to make myself available for more coaches like you so that I can help you get these results and I can help you fast track getting these results. You'd be like my protege. You'll be learning while we're doing and building a scalable system and a system that you can use later at any time whenever you launch an offer, and you can just rinse and repeat, and you can use it in between launches as well. Now I know you're thinking, programs like this usually come with a high ticket price tag, naturally, and for a good reason, because there's a lot of time and energy that goes into putting a program like this together. But because I know that if you made it this far into the training, you're serious about your business and you're serious about actually making your business a profitable coaching business. So if you're here, you already know enough. At this point, you know a lot of things. And what you need is not knowledge. What you need is guided action. You need someone to help you use the knowledge you learn so that you get results. You need someone to sit with you and help you create, brainstorm, and do it with you so that you actually apply those things systematically. And because I want to fast track your results, here's what I'll do. Instead of charging you the high ticket price up front, I'll offer you a 4-week intensive. 4-week intensive, you get access to me, my experience, and all my insights, okay? You'll be working with 100% with me. I'm not going to hand you off to another coach, an assistant, or anything like that. So because I am so confident in my program, I know that you will want to stay for the rest of it. Now, there's no pressure. There's no contract or anything. So it's entirely up to you if you want to actually keep working with me after those 4 weeks or not. But I know I am so confident that you will want to because of the results that you'll already be getting within those 4 weeks. And of course, this takes up so much time of my time and my creativity. And it is a premium investment, but it's only an investment for 4 weeks, 4 weeks of the program, a discounted 4 weeks, and with an option to continue to work together afterwards. So you'll just pay for this 4 weeks. We won't have a contract for working together later on, but you will have an option to continue on to my flagship program. And if you're okay with that, if you believe that this is what you need to get to the next level, if you like these results like my clients have been getting, like the clients that you've seen. Like we said in the training before, these courses and pieces of training are great, but knowledge is nothing if you don't use the information you learned. And sometimes, honestly, you learn so much information that you get information overwhelm, analysis paralysis, and you don't apply those things, or it doesn't make sense anymore when it comes to applying because it's just so much information. So if you're ready to stop dabbling with the free and low quality content and this hamster wheel, and if you want to finally get a lead generation strategy and a system that will work for your business, fill out the application and book a call with me. On this call, we'll determine if we're a good fit and how you can benefit from this offer. If I think I can help take your business to the next level, we can get started that same week. Now, if I don't think it will work for you, I'll always be upfront about that. And I'll point you in the right direction so that you'll be ready as soon as possible. But I have limited spots in this membership because it's all me. Literally, this is 100% working with me. If you think this is the launching pad you've been looking for, don't delay it. Let's book a call, and I hope to talk to you soon.